perfect, unadulterated black light. Yeah. Man from Basel. Greetings, enough blessings, you know. It's been a while because we have been allowing the things to unfold so that more people can recognize the patterns and the realities and the failures and the abilities of those who we have purported as leaders and seeking leadership guidance from. So you allow it to unravel. You see me? Well, we recognize that when people, everybody get caught and swamped into what we see as their World Cup, the World Cup frenzy. You see everybody caught in the World Cup frenzy. Everybody get caught up in the World Cup frenzy, and that's understandable. But one of the things is that we have been recognizing is that we're seeing lots and lots of conversations. Even last night, I see lots and lots of conversations go on as it regards to everybody personal side and what here me still now get my black people. The reality of the attack that was systematically meted out on our people by the very people that you're supporting. I mean, Brazil good, yes, and they had a Pele, but the history of Brazil as it correlates to how they treat black people means that I cannot be a full supporter of Brazil. I mean, how can I? It means then that we're taking everything out of context. Because football is one thing I might like, but if I can put my heart and soul, no. The fact that Pele came from a Brazil, and Brazil has the largest melanated population outside of Africa, and you can't find no whole heap more black people after Pele, and you still have the largest black population. You have the largest melanated population in the world outside of Africa, and you can't find no more black skin player again after Pele. Just a lots of brown skin and whites and mixed breed. You can't. That speaks of Brazil's racism and the mental. Remember, Brazil is Portugal, and Portugal, being the cousin of Spain, has always showed racist attitudes and attributes towards black people. They are savages towards us. Why you think, my people, why would Argentina be in the, why would Argentina, because this is psychosis for black melanated people globally, to be getting enthralled and emotional over these people's silly sports and representing their teams while your country destitute, your people being treated like savage. You cannot find the essential health and education and proper food and healthy water. But you're going to jump up and down for Argentina when Argentina systematically exterminated the blacks. How you think that Argentina is in the middle of South America and cannot find any black players on Argentina? Tell me when last season you see a black player for Argentina team. Name in history the black player for Argentina football team. Argentina went through a systematic extermination of the blacks in Argentina. Systematic. First thing, Argentina sent all the blacks to the forefront of the war that they had with Chile or with Uruguay or Paraguay. They put the blacks in the front in poorly planned battles so that those blacks were half of the population was of males in Argentina was killed off in a useless war that them set them up to go and die on the battlefield. The other half, them come back. They put them up. Argentina put them in a town that was being bombarded with the plague, and they gave very little treatment to those people in that town. and another portion of the black males in that town in Argentina died off. So when I see supposedly super intelligent and aware black men going nuts over Argentina and going nuts over racist Brazil, racist Argentina, racist Belgium and racist Switzerland, and these countries have attacked us, and y'all don't yet have the ovarian fortitude to stand up as a people and say, hey, we ain't going to support you based on the reality of your attitudes and your treatment of people like me. If every Brazil fan in Jamaica right now got, or every black Brazil fan all around the Caribbean, if I send all around to Argentina now, them wiping out. Just bear that in mind. The Argentinians don't even deny it, that they systematically wiped out the blacks in Argentina. And you're all jumping up and down hysterically for Argentina and Brazil. Explain again to me how Brazil could produce a great footballer like Pelé. Brazil has the largest population of melanated dark-skinned people outside of Africa, and they have not been able to produce any more melanated black-skinned star footballer. When we consider the amount of young melanated black-skinned boys who were motivated and inspired by an Edson Dorantes do Nascimento. Edson Dorantes do Nascimento, that's his name. We call him Pelé. His proper name is Edson. His father named him Edson, Mr. do Nascimento. After him, the amount of black young boys that would have been inspired, how come they never feature up an Argentina team? When Argentina has, on Brazil team, when Brazil has the largest melanated population in the world. These are racist countries. Argentina don't even hide that they systematically exterminated the blacks in Argentina. Send half of the men to a useless war and losing battlefronts against a war between Chile and Uruguay. And would have never kill them, put the rest of them in our town and bunch them up in our town that was filled with the plague and gave ineffective treatment and medication, so they were wiped off. Majority of black Argentinians that had to run away to Chile, Peru, even Uruguay and in Paraguay with them racists treated them better than in Argentina. They ran away, they had to run away. And then they took the women that were left in Argentina. This is what the Argentinians said they did. They took the women that were left and make sure so they mate with white men. And when they mate them black women with white men and those children come, they make sure those children had to mate with whites again. And systematically try to remove the blackness. And you support them, you even support while black people are in dire struggle right now. We need to wake up. It's all good and all well. It's just like, even like when we see the African Americans going crazy over the whole issue with Kyrie Irving. African Americans, I don't even say, yo, we saw what they did. We thought that the African Americans were going to have the ovarian fortitude to abandon this silliness called American football and start being so invested in it after what they did with Kaepernick. Kaepernick has not been reinstated, and them running the team down again till them come now with just a state Kyrie Irving, and they're like, oh no, nobody can help you, you need to help yourselves now, my people. That's how it's there. This consistent desire and groveling for white people's acceptance. Let me tell you what I told again, and we must understand this, there is no superiority in the Caucasian. There is savagery and an animal nastiness that has caused them to savagely with the mere use of violence and inhumane attributes that nobody else on the planet possesses. That has been the basis of his growth and advancement in this world. Nothing superior. As I had to, when I was at Wilmot's Boys School, I had to tell a fellow student of Caucasian extraction, I had to remind him that my sister's vagina can wipe him off the face of the earth and obliterate his presence on this planet. There's no white woman's vagina that can obliterate my presence on this planet. But my sister's vagina can obliterate the very presence of Caucasians on this planet. They can't be superior on any level. You need to get over that and stand in your royalty now, my people. Now, as much as we say Morocco a step forward, because we just going to touch it as it is, and the historicity of what is taking place. Let us bear in mind that being an Akompong Maroon and an Ashanti Prince, we are not commoners like some of them. We can show you, and it's been demonstrated via our bloodline, that unequivocal Ashanti royalty. No, it would have meant that if I'm an Akompong Maroon, that my ancestors were brought here by Spain, not by the British. And Spain never went to Africa for slaves. Spain never had a slave trade. So where did Spain get us from? Because we are the ones who invaded across Cartagedas in 710 AD and stayed in Spain and Iberia and the entire Iberian Peninsula until 1490, when we were defeated at the Battle of Granada. We are the people. I am a royal, unequivocal, unapologetic, royal descendant of the former rulers of the people they call the Moors. You see, we never called ourselves Moors. The word Moor, that's why you cannot find a moorland in Africa. And the place they call Morocco now was not called Morocco then. When we invaded, the land was not called Morocco. Morocco is from the Spanish word again, moro, meaning black. It's a derogatory term that Europeans used to call us. The word Moor is from Castellano. We're going to give you the linguistics, because none of these dunces that fronting as historians I bet none of them come from a post and make a talk. They can't. When Basra speaks, it stands. We aren't asking them that. The word Moro is a derogatory for the Spanish, not the Spanish, the Castellano dialect, the dialect of Castellano, the region of Iberia, Andalusia that they call now Spain. It's called Iberia. And it's from the Castellano dialect. It means black. It's a derogatory for black. Los moros, morena. It's black. So, to those people in America who say they are Moors and say, I am not black, but I'm Moorish. It means you're not black in English, but you'll accept being black in Spanish. Serious lack of intelligence and historical unbroken continuity. Because if you have historical unbroken continuity, you don't make these errors based on white people's documents. You're supposed to have a historicity of your own. You see, so when we invaded 710 AD, the place was called Cartagedas, from which the Europeans extrapolated the word Carthage. Remember, they never speak of Hannibal of Morocco. They speak of Hannibal of Carthage. So it's clear that the place was not called Morocco at the time when the Africans invaded. It was called Carthage. Carthage is what the Europeans call it. We as Africans called it in our African tongue. There's certain sounds and words. It's called Cartagedas. K-H-A-R-T-A-H-A-D-D-A-S. Cartagedas. That was the name of the land. And we invaded from there, not because an army was mustered and formed there. That army was an unequivocal West African army and Central West African army that came up. We invaded across Cartagedas because it was the closest point between Africa and Europe. It's 20 miles. We can swim that. That's like swimming from Kingston to Port Royal and back. We used to swim across the harbor. Simple swim that. You see the lights of Marrakesh from Spain. We have taken the boat ride. People don't fool it. As true anthropologists of our African liberation and the clarity that is attendant to it. True anthropologists of our African liberation and the clarity that is attendant to it. because you must bring forth clarity as you don't come to be a part of the African liberation. Because it's clear that the existing understandings are not the full requirements for African liberation and a melanated liberation. So it means that we're getting errors. And anybody who can come correct nothing for you and don't come for do nothing along the struggle. So, when we invaded across Cartahadas and take the 90 miles, we put the man called Hannibal in charge, only because the rules of war dictates that it is the general who is most familiar with the terrain who should be in charge of the incursion. So, Hannibal never mustered that army. That army was, I said, a Central West African army. Here's how. Couple things to make you get to that point. First thing, there was no Arab there like now when we invaded. There was no Arabs. When the Africans invaded, there was no Arabs. How did the Arabs get there? How did the Arabs become along North Africa? The Arabs were placed there because our defeat at the Battle of Granada was because the Europeans made a deal with the Arabs. Remember, the Europeans took 2 million of their own children and gave them to the Arabs to make an army to come and attack us, you know. Them tell you all these stories in the genre of our fantasy, but because you have had to add an education system that dictates that you repeat monkey see, monkey do in order to get an A. If you nowhere were you taught a question, all you had to do was repeat monkey see, monkey do, monkey see, monkey do, and you get an A. So even at present today, many of our brightest are just mere monkey sees and monkey doers. Simple. No one has stopped objectively and assessed the crap that they have told us. See? So, when you look and you see that the Arabs were not there, and we go now, the first university built in Europe. Listen again, black people. The first university built in Europe was the University of Salamanca in southern Spain. And these Europeans will tell you that it was built by the black people who invaded them that they call the Moors. Now we, the blacks, built the first university in Europe. Why are not allowing white people to behave like them, sit on any levels of knowledge on top of them? But them don't teach this understanding in our school system, you know. They teach European glory. They do not teach you that such glory is rooted in African understanding. Them not teaching you that. So the first university is the University of Salamanca in Spain, built by the Africans that they call the Moors. And these Africans left the university with a curriculum. Now, here's the drama. High grade, unapologetic. Big up to Hardly Rowe and Dennis Foster and the rest of their compound Maroons who love with. The duns them who get tricked by the flick. Go down. You're going to struggle and suffer if we don't lift the children out of the doldrums. Big up to the Maroon cannabis farmers that provide with the highest grade consistently. Now, if you go to the University of Salamanca in Spain, which is the first university ever built in Europe, that they tell you that black men built, if you go there in the museum, alma mater, there is in the university's alma mater, there is a museum with the original and very first curriculum of that university. And when you look at that curriculum, it is an exact copy of the curriculum of the University of Genève, D-J-H-E-N-E, Genève, D-J-H-E-N-E, Genève, the University of Genève in ancient Ghana. Now that university was burnt down and rebuilt as the University of Timbuktu. And the first curriculum of the first university in Europe is an exact copy of the curriculum of the University of Genève. Says who built it? It would have been West Africans. If it was a Muslim, Arab, Moor that built the first university, you would have been able to connect its curriculum to a Muslim, Arab, more social strata and society. No, it connects directly to a West Central African one. That tells you in anthropology and science, I'll show you the root of the thing. To show you again, says we again. When they defeated us 1490, if the knowledge that Europe had been conquered by for the last 700 years, if that knowledge came out of quote-unquote Morocco, they would have invaded Morocco. It's 20 miles across. Do you know where the Europeans went after they defeated the Africans? They went to West Africa. They went to the source, unequivocally as proven unto them where that knowledge came from that conquered them. If that knowledge came out of Morocco, they would have gone there. Morocco was only the geographically closest point between Africa and Europe. That's why we invaded across Carthage and put Hannibal in charge. So when you're not understanding the greatness, and that greatness, Spain then took and used that greatness to craft its Spanish colonies in the New Americas that Spain found in our maps. Because if we was ruling for 18 years, for 700 years, and them defeat us at the Battle of Granada 1490, Columbus sailed 1492, Europe had no time to gather any knowledge of its own. Where did Europe get the knowledge? Europe had no time to gather any knowledge of its own. Where did Europe get the knowledge to come from? It was from our African knowledge. So, unequivocally as an accompanying Maroon and a descendant of the former rulers of Europe, I'll tell you later on in another video why we invaded and the purpose of that invasion. We said to melanated people around the world, while I enjoy the football, I'm not supposed to be so emotional supporting these people who without a question have demonstrated savagery and a lack of your decent human rights for centuries towards you. It is then a sickness if you seek to identify with, be associated with, and see glory in being associated with them. Support your team, but wake up out of the dream. You are the gods of the earth. Know your worth. Blazing, perfect, unadulterated, black light. Yo, my people, listen to the message. Now you get 72,000 genes from your mother, 72,000 from your father. That comes to 144,000. Now you remember when the Bible tells you, said, in all its madness, it says, it's 144,000 will be saved. Now check the code. That so-called thing that they're putting in the people because of this pandemic, this fantasy, that vaccine gives you another 72,000 genes. So this is what happens. You add 72,000 to 72,000 to 72,000, you get 216,000, right? But check the code again. The Bible said the mark of the beast is the name of a man, it's the number of his name. Let him that have overstanding overstand. 600 times 3 score, which is 60, and 6. But guess what now? It's when you multiply 600 times 60 times 6, multiply it and see which number you get. 216,000, which is the new number of genes that you will have if you take, if the RNA, if that thing gets into you. Those who have taken it are now mutating from the 144,000 genes that the being is designed to naturally have. 72,000 from your mother, 72,000 from your father. That's how it's designed. That the 72, both of them come to 144,000. That encoded was told to you, say, is the 144,000 will be saved. And Christianity in it is non-mathematical, non-scientific. Misunderstanding. I said to you, oh, it's 100, make you think it's 144,000 chosen ones. No, it's a code. That is whoever still have 144,000 genes will be saved. Because if you take the RNA, now, at the opening of the Olympics, didn't you see the Queen, when the Queen hit the something and the light spread? That's a third DNA strand. 72,000 times 70, go back to the Olympics opening, when the Queen lit the something and the light, and you'll see that they're showing you the DNA, and that DNA is showing you a third DNA strand. The RNA gives you a third DNA strand. That third DNA strand gives you another 72,000 genes. So you got 72,000 from your mother, 72,000 from your father. You're supposed to have 144,000 genes as a divine being. That third DNA strand now gives you 216. The Bible says, the mark of the beast is the name of a man, is the number of his name. Remember, just broke down the code for you. Genus is what it is, and nothing else. 2, the Bible says, it's the number of a man. The mark of the beast is the name of a man, is the number of his name. It's the name of a man, the number of his name. It says 600, 3 score, which is 60, and 6. And you have all been adding it up. No. The mathematics is to multiply. Now when you multiply 600 times 60 times 6, you end up with 216,000, which is the new number of genes that will be in you if you take the RNA medicine. You will have become the beast. Let him that have overstand. They're coming at you again pretty soon. You better be ready. Intelligence rules the world, while ignorance is left to bear. About 3:30 in the afternoon in the city of Kingston, you know. In about another hour or so, when the sun goes down and the city gets cool, I'll be treating myself to some junk on an island. Sorry, rum. Yeah, the junk on an island brand, you know. We're going to big up the efforts and the visionary movements of the youths them that will grow up with. Bless up on yourself. Yeah. As the sun goes down, I'll just be chilling, enjoying the fact that I live on a junk on an island. Magic every time, you know.